Hey guys, it's Haley again. Presentation number 2. Supposed to be submitted for week 4. My bad. It's called A Busy Summer. Anyway, to get to the presentation topic, I have titled this Discover and Develop Your Style. I am basing this off of the book Courageous Leadership by Bill Hybels. The chapter that I'm going to be focusing on is chapter 7. And in this one, Bill Hybels really encourages leaders to find out what their style is and to basically build off of that. He gave 10 different examples of leadership styles in this chapter. One is called the visionary leadership style, and this one is the leader has a vision and they will do everything they can to bring it to life. They are eager to share it. They are not afraid to share it, and it's contagious. And they have a fire, they have a drive to see things get done. They set goals. They work on progressing the team towards the final destination. The second one is the directional leadership style, and this one is where the leader knows that the project or the team is coming to a crossroads, and the goal for this kind of leader is to determine, okay, should we go to the right or should we go to the left? They are focused on getting the group onto the right track and staying on the right track. The next one is the strategical leadership style, and this one is the leader has a vision and they do a really good job about breaking it up into steps and different tasks. And he writes on page 144, visions excite people, they inspire people, they compel people into action. But unless people eventually see progress toward the fulfillment of the vision, they will conclude that the vision caster is just a dreamer blowing smoke, and their morale will plummet. So basically, it is crucial for leaders to be able to break a vision into smaller chunks so people don't get overwhelmed and they see that progress is being made the further along that they go. The fourth style that Bill Hybels talks about is the managing leadership style, and he says that according to some leadership literature, the term managing leader is an oxymoron. That's because some leadership experts draw careful distinctions between what managers do and what leaders do. So we all know that there are managers in the workforce. No matter what job you're at, there's a manager. He clarifies that leaders do right things while managers do things right. So basically, leaders are set out to do the right thing, and managers are set out to do things right the first time. They don't like doing redos. They don't like having to re-explain things. The managing leader style, those who possess this one are good at this one, are able to manage tasks very well. They keep people on track. They don't let people get distracted or go on tangents. They're able to manage the project very well. Bill Hybels even gives 2 Old Testament references to this kind of managing leadership style. One of them is Joseph in the Old Testament. When he was placed in second command, he was an excellent managing leader, according to Bill Hybels. Another one was Nehemiah. My church is actually going through a series based on Nehemiah, and basically what he is renowned for is being able to complete the wall of Jerusalem in just 52 days. Now that is a guy who knows how to manage big tasks and be able to keep people set on the goal, even though there were plenty of distractions. Bill Hybels said both of these men effectively organized and accomplished huge tasks. The next leadership style is the motivational one, and this is where the leaders are more concerned, well, they are obviously concerned about getting their vision done. They are also really into getting their followers who are getting tired of what they're doing, like if they've lost that spark, to get them motivated again. Because as a leader, you don't want to have people who are unmotivated just hanging around. They're basically dead weight. So you either need to kick them to the curb, or you need to remotivate them, reset their, get them to see again what they were doing. And the author even uses Jesus as an example, because he knew as a human being that the disciples could get tired. He knew that they needed breaks from the ministry, and so he would give them those breaks. The motivational leaders know when to give their followers a break, those who are going with them with this vision. They know how to remotivate them, re-energize them, give them breaks, that sort of stuff. The sixth style that is talked about in this chapter is called the shepherding leading style. And this is where the leader is, they nurture their followers, they support them, they listen to them, they pray for them, they are the ones that build the team slowly, but they are the ones that make better connections with their followers. And a lot of people like to go for the shepherding leadership style, those who have this kind of leadership quality, just because they know that they will be cared for, and that if anything happens, that the leader will be there. And in return, if the leader is having a difficult time with something, they know that the people who are following them along this journey will be there for them. Bill Hybels gave the example of David, how in 2 Samuel 23, he was really thirsty, and he was longing for the water of Bethlehem, and they were they had encountered the Philistines, and Bethlehem was in the vicinity of the Philistines at that time, and David was one of those shepherding leaders, and he cared so much about his followers, and the followers actually could see how much he longed for the water from the well of Bethlehem. And so they actually risked their lives to get him that, and David ended up doing a worshipful thing and praised God by actually dumping out the water. But he knew that the men that were following him really cared about him and wanted to help him out, since he had been doing the same thing. The seventh example that he talked about was the team building leadership style, and this is basically about the leader who knows that this vision requires teamwork, and won't be able to accomplish it without a team. So he not only divides the tasks up into smaller chunks, but assigns the appropriate people to those tasks. The Bill Hybels used Michael Jordan, or the Chicago Bulls, and some of their players, like Michael Jordan was one of them, how each member did something different, but they were all they all had this one goal in mind, just to do their best, win if possible. One person re-energized the team when he got on the court. There were the big scorers, there were the rebounders, there were the people who did an excellent job at guarding, that sort of stuff. So basically, it's all about the leader knowing that in order to accomplish this vision, there has to be teamwork. The next one is the entrepreneurial leadership style, and this one is kind of a category of its own, just because this kind of leadership style has qualities from basically all and every one of the different leadership styles. So they basically get a category of their own. They may be like a shepherding kind of person, but also have some qualities from, I don't know, visionary, or or a motivational one. It's hard to just put them in one category. They kind of just are there. I don't know. But the example that he used was the Apostle Paul, and how he started up these churches in areas where the name of Christ wasn't even being spoken. But as soon as the church got going and was stable, he was able to pass it on to a leader from that area. Basically, the entrepreneurs are the ones that like starting things. They like starting these different programs, but you finally get to a point where there's already so much going on. Just hand it over to so either just stay in one place, or you just go to another one and start building new things like Paul did. The second to last example or style that Bill Hybels talks about is the re-engineering leadership style, and this is where a leader will take over a project that is failing, is crumbling, going down the drain, whatever term you want to use, and they're able to re-engineer it, redefine, rebuild, that sort of stuff. They're not afraid to get their hands dirty, and it may take a short time, it might take a long time, but whenever this ministry or project is finally able to get on the stable side, the leader who started revamping this specific project will basically say, okay, my job is done, I'm passing on to this qualified person. And they don't really stick around very long. They come, they rebuild, they leave, that sort of stuff. And the final leadership style that Bill Hybels talks about is the bridge building leadership style. And this is where it's a big task, and you need to have all these different leaders in order to accomplish this big task. Mega churches are kind of something like this. There's so many people and there's so many ministries involved with a mega church that not just one person is able to do it, but there has to be several others that have to contribute and be able to work together for this one big church. Towards the end of the chapter, he also talks about the 4 steps to discovering and developing your leadership style. And the first one is to identify your leadership style and to review it. He also encourages you to talk about this with someone who knows you a little bit more, knows what style would probably be able to fit you more, just because it can be overwhelming, according to Bill Hybels. And having some input from other people would be able to help that. The second one is to determine whether or not your style fits your current leadership situation. An example is, say your leadership style is actually more of the re-engineering, but you are in charge of a ministry that is a little bit more stable. It's not actually a really good fit because you really want to rebuild something, but this is already strong as it is. So you're going to need to find something that is a little bit more in the re-engineering kind of style. You will be happier in the end, and it'll be more effective if the stable ministry is in the hands of someone who's able to lead it better than a re-engineer. The third one is to help determine the leadership style of each person on your team. So whether that's potential leaders or other leaders that you're working with, you need to be able to help identify what their leadership style is, since you're a team and you want what's best for the project, you all do. So identify what the styles are of everyone else, and appoint different positions according to those styles. And the last one is to commit yourself both to developing your strong leadership styles and growing your weaker leadership styles as well. So Bill Hybels used an example of in his own life. He is not good with the managing aspect, but he's like a visionary. Being one of the lead pastors at Willow Creek Community Church, he needs to be able to manage not only time but people, because people are coming to him about things, and he has to be able to assign tasks, that sort of stuff. Basically, I would encourage people to be able to identify your leadership skill. It is very crucial as leaders to be able to do that. To me, it seems like my leadership style is probably more of the shepherding. I really have a passion for people. I really care about people. I don't like seeing people sad. I want to make them happy. I want to bring joy to their life. I want to nurture them, make them feel better. I want to care for them. Just overall be there for them. If they need loving, just love on them. I know one area that I probably need to work on is probably the breaking it up into tasks. I'm more of a big picture kind of person, but I haven't gotten to the point of being able to break that down. And definitely I want to be able to work on that. And I encourage everyone to be able to not only identify what your strong suits are, also work on both of them, and encourage people to help out each other by identifying their strong suits and the places that they need to work on. Again, Courageous Leadership by Bill Hybels.